to pay for it. So we're going to get Mark to pick a sex worker live on air.
I like this. All right, I got a very we'll see what type I go for.
I'm very interested.
Well, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Sex with Kat and Mark.
I'm very interested. You've never paid for sex before, have you?
No,
yes.
Never.
I'm interested to see who you would pick.
Okay.
If you were to pay for it. So we're going to get Mark to pick a sex worker live on air.
I like this. All right, I got a very we'll see what type I go for.
I'm very interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear about the psyche of a guy. That's something that I ask my clients a lot. Is why did you pick me?
That's good.
I always get different things. Oh, your hair, your smile, or your photos, or whatever, or your bio. But I'm just interested to hear the thought process.
Okay, we'll go through it. You'll get the insight of a guy picking, because I always do this as well when it comes to Tinder. When I meet girls at the club or bar and I take them home, I always do the same thing. I'm like, why'd you come home with me? What was the reason? It's always very insightful to know. So all right, let's do that. That sounds super interesting. I think so.
Please tell me that for once you've got something interesting to say.
You haven't had anything
interesting to say on any episode.
I've been a busy man on the other episodes, but this week, Kat, do you have a story for me? It's been a little bit more exciting. It has. So this week, I actually met up with a girl. So I'll talk about her for a little bit, who's in an open relationship. So non-monogamous or polyamorous, however you want to define it.
I think I know this girl.
You might actually. You may have met her. It's the one
that we met at that dinner.
I don't
at
even
our friend's
know
house, the married one.
Yes, exactly.
I was there when you met her.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's been multiple occasions so far.
So I have heard actually.
Yeah, no, it was super interesting because usually when I meet a girl, it's we're fucking that day. And actually, that's the topic of this episode, right? Fucking on the first night. And so most women, if I meet them from Tinder or in real life, I like to build that sexual chemistry and connection right away. And I like to test it out right away. So most of the times when I'm meeting girls, it's sex on the first night and that's what it looks like. But with this girl, it was maybe sex on the third night or something like that, because essentially the first two meets we were out with friends. She was going back to her friends, but it was just the opportunity was not there essentially. And so we both commented on the amount of sexual tension that built over this time, because we were making out you were at the club doing whatever, but obviously at the end of the night we weren't having sex. And so it really built up this chemistry. So when we finally did, it definitely added to it. And that's what we'll talk about later on, the benefits of waiting a little bit or the benefits of sex on the first night.
That's unusual for you.
It is.
It's actually 3.
Exactly, right?
2 would be unusual, but 3?
This is a once in a 2-year type of opportunity that was presented to me. But it was, it was great. And this girl as well, she's very sexually open.
She was hot.
Yeah, she's she's got a fucking hot. Great body. But her energy and personality was also very unique.
Oh,
and
100%.
I like that she came from that view of, being open. Her husband knew about what was going on. They both have enjoyment in each other's sex lives or endeavors outside of that. So a lot of fun. Absolutely loved it. But Kat, what about your week? What's been happening?
Well, this didn't really happen this week. But it's just a story. We didn't really get to do stories last week because we had our interview. But this is a fun story. So I had the biggest fangirl moment in my industry. So when I was in Singapore, there was this other working girl, I guess you could say, another escort, that just happened to be there at the same time. Holly Harper, I don't know if you know who that is.
I mean,
you're not really into that scene. But anyway, anyone who is in that scene.
She's the celebrity of the escort world.
Yeah, bro, she's iconic. She's you're in the scene, you know who that is. Okay. And she hit me up and was like, hey, I'm going to be in Singapore at the same time. Let's do dinner. And I obviously nearly had a heart attack. I was like, oh my God, she knows I exist. So we had dinner and mate, she's so cool.
So how did she find you? How was she
we follow each other on Twitter.
Okay.
Again, that was another fangirl moment. I was like, oh my God, she follows me back on Twitter. Oh my God, so we're friends now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
What did you guys get up to? You just went out and partied or what happened?
No, we went out for dinner.
Okay. All right. That still sounds fun.
Yeah. It was more kind of it was, two colleagues talking about shared experiences and things. Yeah. She's really cool. So that was just nice just to even meet someone in the industry. The industry is really fucking catty, man. Like people hate everyone. There's like everyone hates everyone, and there's like some girls, like depending on whatever, like girls will judge other girls in this industry based on price, photos, location, like it could be anything, man. So like just the fact that she was just nice enough to be like, hey, like we're gonna be in the same country, which is like a different country, like let's hang out and be friendly and be like colleagues. That was just such a like a heartwarming
I think it says a lot about a person when even when you're in a competitive industry, you're looking out for each other. And she's, you know, I think when anyone comes from that point of view of, you know what, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm happy to hang out with you. I'm happy to be friends. I'm happy to, even if you guys are promoting each other, whatever you're doing, like coming from that point of view when you're not scarce, I think is a really good trait in a person regardless. So it's cool that you got to meet her, had a good time. And
so that was fun. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, good times.
Yeah, I know. I need more friends in the industry. I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know.
It's
more
hard,
people I can be like, oh, because like even when we seen each other, we're like, oh my God, like I wanted to talk about everything. Like like she was asking me questions, I was asking her questions. Exactly. It was just like, oh, like you need colleagues. Like think about like just in any work environment, you just need to chew someone's ear off about things that irritate you, like advice. Sometimes you just need that. And in an industry where, I mean, and you know as well, in an industry where you're like a sole trader and there's not that many, you can't just like turn over to the person that's sitting next to you at your desk and be like, oh my God, hey, how do I do this? Or I have this question. So you need to like look out for each other in this industry, right?
No. When I got into dating and sex coaching, you notice like my friendship circle evolved. Like I was no longer friends with those guys from school or whenever I was younger. It really became around the guys that had that similar passion, similar view on life. Because you're right, it's hard, right? I have obviously friends outside of that, but it's such a nice feeling. I'm sure people notice this that are listening, right? Even when I used to be a nurse back when I was younger, like even something like that, it's nice to meet up with other people in that space and you just understand each other a little bit better. So amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I agree.
Okay.
Fucking on the first date. So this one is such a controversial one.
It is.
Because I know even just in our friendship circle, I think I wrote a blog post on fucking on the first date, and a few people in our group, who I won't name, but like some of our mutual friends, then like read it and then hit me up and oh my God, they had so many things to say about those polarizing opinions and there's no general consensus on it. Okay, so maybe should we just start with like our personal
what's your view? Because I'm not exactly sure what your view on this is, to be honest.
And it's people get really shocked when I say it. So even though I am a sex worker, if I'm and obviously I mean I like fuck like random people.
So on page you're like, excuse me, this is our first meet. It's not happening yet.
No. So in a paid way, obviously I fuck on the first day. And I mean, I do have cheeky one night stands here and there outside of work. Like there's definitely times where I've like, you know, just kind of met a guy. Like I mean, just in Thailand, like I just like fucked some random guy like in one of the islands. And like, so every now and then I do like, you know, a few cheeky things if I'm just in the mood, and then I will fuck on the first date kind of thing. But in general, if I'm interested in somebody, I will not fuck on the first date. I wouldn't even fuck on the second date. Probably like maybe fourth-ish, third or fourth. If I'm like, this is someone who I can see a future with and isn't just like if I'm going to have a one night stand with somebody, that's like, you're in my eyes, I'd put you in fuckboy category. And I think I probably might not see you again, or if I do, it's just going to be for sex. You're not someone I would see a future with. If you're someone that I can see potential with, I'm going to make you wait for it.
So what's your strategy behind this? So you put people in two baskets, obviously. So it's like, okay, something serious, we're not going to fuck on the first night, we're going to wait. Something not serious, we'll have some fun, it's in Thailand, not going to see you again. This is just some, you know, cool sex and then see you bye. Why? Why, if someone's serious, do you not want to fuck on the first night?
So I think it's like childhood trauma. Okay. That's like, so when I was like a teenager, because I lost my virginity when I was like 14, and then that was to a guy I was dating, but then after that, when I got a little bit older in high school, I was just like really horny. I just wanted, and this is another thing as well. So I used to be, when I was like, up until I was like 16, I was like pretty like chubby.
Yeah, I was so shocked when you told me this.
Yeah.
We spoke about this a month ago.
People wouldn't believe it. Did I ever show you a photo?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think I did.
I wouldn't believe it if you did.
I was really
That's so hard
chubby,
to imagine.
like really chubby.
Yeah.
And then I lost like heaps of weight, and I went from like a size, like I think I was like size like 14 or
Okay,
something.
that doesn't help me. I don't know what 14 means.
Like,
but
yeah, I
you
was
went from
like-
a big size to a small size.
Yeah, I went from like a 14 to like a 4, like a size 6,
Oh,
like
Jesus
was big on me.
Christ.
Yeah, I was like probably too skinny, but like it was just
Okay.
very polarizing. And then
Yeah.
when I got really skinny, guys, well, especially back then when I was in high school, guys gave me more attention.
Of course.
And I was like, yo, I've never been like, I always wanted to be skinny, especially back when I was young. It was like, you know, Paris Hilton's and things that were like, it was like heroin chic back then when I was like growing up, right? So I was just like, I just want to be stick thin. And then when I became like that was like, you know, the fashion then, and that's what guys were into, especially when I was in high school. Lots of guys were giving me a lot more attention. And then I just started having sex with everyone because I was like, I
bring it
can.
on. I'm
I was like,
horny.
I'm
I'm
newly
getting attention.
hot.
Let's go.
I was newly hot,
Yeah.
and I was like, yo, I just want to fuck everything that moves because I've got all this attention.
Okay.
And then every guy that I basically slept with like never spoke to me again.
Okay.
And that just like
So this kind of taught
traumatized
you,
me, I
okay,
think.
if I just like fuck them right away, they get what they're after and then they kind of move on.
Yeah.
They get their validation
And I had
essentially.
to learn that the hard way. And I guess it was better learning it, I mean, when I was younger. I mean, yeah, it hurt me when I was younger, but now I'm like, oh, I'm old enough now to know better. So I'm just kind of bringing that still.
So now they need to earn it essentially, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be
I
like,
think
listen,
so.
yeah. Do you find that works? So do you find, I'm curious, like if you were to go on a date with a guy and you're like, no, not on the first night. Like you're going to have to earn this a little bit. You're going to have to wait. Do you find that the guys invest a little bit more or more likely to like want to see you or put in that effort when you do that?
Let me try and think. I'm trying to think of like the last few guys that I've been kind of seeing. I mean, because the last 2 guys that I kind of dated, they were both clients, so we kind of had sex.
Okay, yeah.
Straight away.
They bypassed the full day
Yeah,
rule.
but I'm trying to think like who
But in
I was
essence,
seeing
they kind of had to earn it properly in a way a little bit then, right? Because essentially they were paying for sex and then they had to earn the, okay, you get to spend time with me and now we're having sex outside of like the exchange and money going back and
even
forth,
then,
right?
so even when it became that we were more than just like a client provider thing, they had to still kind of win me over, and it wasn't just like we were having sex all the time.
No, you went out on dates and stuff.
I was
We spoke about this
expecting
on another
more than
podcast.
that.
Yeah.
That they had to do, like they had to organize dates and do other things with me.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
So it's a little bit hard now, but yeah, I don't know, because I haven't really had a boyfriend since the last relationship I was in, other than like the 2 clients, was like I was like 18. And then other than that, I was kind of seeing guys, but I did still bring that practice into it. Like I wouldn't fuck them, but they didn't turn into anything really serious.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. It's so interesting. Because my view on this is, I guess, a little bit different if I was coming at it from a male perspective as opposed to a female perspective. Because what I teach to guys is always like have sex on the first night. Like,
but that's the goal when you're a guy, right? The goal for a guy isn't, have sex on the 10th date and then fuck them off.
But let's assume that's true. But let's assume the guy wants a relationship, right? So the same way that you would meet a guy and you're like, this is serious. If I'm coaching guys and they say, hey, Markus, I'm looking for something really serious. Like I'm in my 30s now. I've done all the fucking around. I want to meet someone, settle down, start a family. Like even if it's that serious, I'm still telling these guys, fuck on the first night, or at least intend to. Because the reason why.
I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why is if you come into these dates and you're meeting women and you've already got in your head as a guy that, okay, I want to wait 3 or 4 dates. I want this to be serious. Your perception as a man, you start to come off as a little bit perhaps non-dominant. You start to become off a little bit, I'll just say it, you start to come off a little bit as a pussy, right?
No, it's
100%.
That's chivalry is so dead. This just proves that chivalry doesn't exist anymore.
No, you can listen. You can be. I'm not saying you can be super respectful.
Gentlemanly.
You can pull out her chair. But what I'm saying is, you need to show her that you're a sexual being, right? You 100% have to do that. Now,
why can't you just be gentlemanly and just wait?
Pussy.
Mark isn't a gentleman.
I'm not saying that you have to. Do you have to have sex on the first night? You have to really push for it. I'm just showing that it should be something you're after. You should show this girl that you are sexually attracted to her. And the reason why I think it's important for guys as well is that when you build that sexual connection early, from my experience and what I've seen with a lot of my clients, is the girls are going to be much more likely to be into you and actually want to see you again. They're much more invested because connecting with a woman on a sexual level does a lot of things. And so I think if you weigh up the pros and cons, like, yes, there's this idea of you don't want to come off as a guy that just wants to fuck, right? You just want pussy. No, it's like, I want to connect with you on a much deeper level and I want to take this as far as I can physically with you as soon as I can. And what I've found is when you have sex with girls on the first night and you want it to actually move forward and you want to have a relationship with this girl, then you build a much deeper connection right away. And these girls are much more likely to want to see you again, especially if you've had some sex coaching or you've practiced a little bit and you're good in bed and you're actually able to put the girl's pleasure first and you're not there just trying to come right away or some shit. Like we spoke about this with Timo last week in Tantra. Then yeah, these girls are going to be much more likely to see you. So that's how I see it from the guy's point of view.
I feel like keyword is probably good in bed, but then do you want a girl coming back just because you got good dick, or do you want them coming back because you can bring something else to the table other than just good dick?
Well, it needs to be a combination of things.
Because if you really want to settle down with a girl, you're going to need more than just good dick.
Yeah, but I don't think a girl's going to sleep with you unless she sees some good attributes in you, because she doesn't know you have a good dick game yet, right? Essentially. Like she can guess maybe, but she doesn't know. So you're going to have to, she's not going to just fuck you out of nowhere. Like you're going to have to show some good attributes first. And this is going to be a part of your well-rounded, let's call it like personality or who you are. So I think that you're right. That element is important as well. But also I think as men, you shouldn't be thinking so heavily right away about putting this girl in the serious category. Like I think that's also a mistake on men, because when you go out and meet girls, if you've got a checklist of your serious attributes, right? Who do I want to marry? And you're going through that in the first hour, then you're going to come off as a little bit needy. You're going to get in your head a little bit. You're going to be more stressed. The girl's going to feel that pressure. What I prefer is that this is like a graded scale where you look at this girl and think, all right, do I want to maybe start seeing her? Like, does she essentially meet the first part of my funnel or like criteria? So it's not so serious. It's not so like needy. It's not like, relax a little bit. Enjoy your time with this girl. Now, maybe after you slept with her, after you slept with her a couple of times, as you're hanging out, you start to ask yourself more serious questions. Then you have the next layer of your like, think about it when you go for a job interview and it's like a 4-part interview. Like you got to make each stage. And that way, again, it's going to feel more relaxed for you too. You're going to connect a little bit better. So I think that is also important. And yeah, just take it easy, right? And then when you start seeing her for a couple of months, that's maybe when you're like, okay, this can be exclusive. You start seeing her a bit longer. Like you go up. And so before you're thinking about, yes, I want to have this girl as my girlfriend. Yes, I want to get married. Yes, I want to have kids with her. Instead of thinking about that on your first night, think about it like a couple of weeks in at least, right? Enjoy your experience with each other first. I
feel like you're approaching this from someone who is open-minded sexually, though. I feel like not... I don't know. Like, I feel like some guys would appreciate a girl that maybe just getting to know a girl first. No?
Yeah, but I feel like the frame of this needs to be switched, because I think what a lot of even men and women think is there's this polarized view of you're being a gentleman, you're being very sweet, you want to get to know her, it's very serious, you want to wait. And then there's these men that just want to fuck. But I would argue there's a middle ground where as a man, you can respect the girl, really want to get to know her, really appreciate her company, and want to share a deeper sexual experience. I think there's that middle ground. And so for me, it changes with the girl. Sometimes, yeah, it's just a one-night stand. We're both like, okay, let's just have some fun. I'm very clear with my intentions all the time with women. So if it is just going to be, if I'm at a sex party and I meet some girl and we're just fucking, like it's just sex, that's fine. Or it might be someone that, I might see something potentially more with. But there is a middle ground to that. And so look, there are going to be some men and women that match with this same belief that, okay, sex, we're going to wait because that indicates this relationship is more serious. And so those people might be more compatible in that sense and with that view. But if I met a girl that told me, I want to wait 4 nights, like for your mindset, right? I want to wait 4 nights because I think this is serious. But if I get that impression, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it. It would just, the sex just wouldn't happen.
No. But if I get that impression, right? If we go to
Yeah, so what would you do if you're like talking to a girl and then she doesn't have sex with you on the first date?
It's happened many times.
Do you just get bored and then fuck off?
No, I try to understand why, right? I try to understand why. So look, if there's a girl that's just can't have sex on the first night, like she's like, no, we can't have sex.
Girls have trauma. So like, look, you're saying that you can there are serious guys who can fuck on the first date, and then you're saying there's fuck boys that can fuck on the first date. When you're a young girl, like I was, and you're a teenager, guys tell you, oh yeah, I like you, whatever. They sleep with you and then they never talk to you again. So how would a girl know if there's a serious guy who seriously wants to settle down and says, oh yeah, I'm so serious about you, let's have sex on the first date, or gets that impression? How do you know that he's different from every other guy that girl has slept with that said he wanted to be serious and then never spoke to her again?
Well, I think
which is what every single girl listening is going to say.
Exactly.
That's why we wait.
Yeah.
It's not for any other reason. Girls aren't scared of having sex, especially me, the sex worker. I've got no issue with sex. It's every guy I've ever fucked on the first date in my entire life has, other than like clients like talk to me again, but like random guys, like they get what they want, then they fuck off, regardless of what they've told you. So how do you then, for a girl, there's no way to tell the difference because every single guy that's ever said, yeah, we're going to get serious and then fucked you, then they fuck off.
Yep.
So how do you know the difference then?
What I'd say to these girls is I wouldn't align my sense of self or validation based off if these guys want to see me again or not, is number one. So the way I'd go into it is if you're having sex on the first night, is not with this huge expectation of needing or wanting to see these guys again. It's the first night. So you need to go into, you need to go into that thinking, if I'm going to have sex, I'm going to fucking enjoy it, right? This is also about me. I'm not just having sex for this guy. I'm going to really fucking enjoy this experience. I'm going to demand my own pleasure. And this is going to be an experience that we both leave feeling better about ourselves and that we're both going to enjoy. Now, the decision whether you guys see each other again, I would argue should not be predominantly in your mind based around the sex or not. So if you guys both enjoyed each other's company and you both really got along, then I don't see why this guy wouldn't want to see you again. Like there's this idea that guys just love sex and they want sex.
I think you live in like this sheltered world where you think like guys are these nice, loving.
No. What I was about to say.
Guys are assholes.
No, what I was about to say.
Speaking on behalf of every girl. Guys are fucking assholes, and that's why we are like this. That's why so many girls are like it's 100%. It's all trauma. Most guys are not nice like you, and even when you said oh yeah, okay, if it's a one night stand, I'll just go in and say it's a one night stand. Guys don't do that. Guys be saying I love you, I'm going to see you again, and then block your number. That is the reality of it.
And look, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are cheating that have girlfriends and look, I understand a lot of that's out there. I guess my first point is if this does happen to you, like if you are going to be a girl that has sex on the first night, you need to have a strong enough sense of self that as this happens, you're like, oh, good riddance, right? The same way that if you were going to go on a date and not have sex and the guy wasn't going to see you again, like you can't be too, let's say, traumatized about that experience and be like, oh my God, I shared a meal with this guy. Like, what the fuck? We shared a meal. I thought I was going to see him again. So I would argue that if you are going to have sex, then you need to be able to sit in that light of, okay, we shared this sexual experience. If he doesn't want to see me again, then fine, right? I'm going to find a guy that I have more chemistry with. And I think over time, you will notice a difference between the type of guys that are genuine about their actions and what they're saying. And so there are ways, this is where I'm coming with some techniques here for women. There are ways I'd go about
what to screen guys.
Exactly.
Oh,
right?
Please. And every single girl listening, get a notebook. I'm getting my notebook here. Got my little notebook.
Because I think the time doesn't change too much. Like if you're making a guy wait for the second date, then again, it's just time for the guy. Like I think if he thinks he's fucking on the second night, I'm just going to see if he is an asshole. If there's a guy that's a complete asshole, we'll just wait till the second night, fuck you, and then not see you again if sex was his goal, right? So I think what you're really looking for is somewhat of that investment if that's what you want. Now, again, like I'm giving two parts of the advice here because I think really as a girl, you shouldn't be so hung up on, I have to see this guy again. I really want to see this guy again, because I think that in a way is going to push him away a little bit as well. So you need to be okay, right? To that surrender and okay with that. If this doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you can screen if this guy's just after sex, right? And just wants to fuck. So I would ask what his past sexual relationships look like. I would ask what his dating life looks like. And you can get an idea. And then you can start to see like the guys that are very honest that say, yeah, look, there's a couple of girls I sleep with or I sleep around or like I try to, or look, I've only been in one ever serious relationship. I've never dated. Like you're going to get an idea about how honest this guy is being around that. And then ask what he's after. Like he will give you some indication whether he's willing to see you again or not, right? It might take some practice, but once again, if you're going to be sleeping with guys on the first night, you need to be okay that if you guys don't have chemistry, you don't have chemistry.
I feel like I'm not going to be able to agree on this one.
And we can have different views. I'm not saying that this is the way it should be.
Look, I'll be honest, I would prefer personally, regardless of like past traumas and whatever, personally, I do think it is better to get an indication of what someone is like in the bedroom, which is why I end up just like this year, I've just ended up being with clients because I was saying in the other episode when we were talking about it that you can kind of screen if you're sexually compatible early on and, you know, that kind of the thing. So I do, and like that's important, right? So I do feel like, yeah, seeing if you're sexually compatible, I mean, I think that's good off the bat. And especially like if you are sexually compatible and the sex is really good, there is that kind of bond and chemistry that you kind of develop with someone in that, you know, more higher level thing when you connect sexually. But yeah, it's honestly just the whole like, the trauma that girls have.
Look, I am biased coming from this because she said, Mark, you're a bit blinded, right? Because the type of guy I am and the type of clients I'm dealing with, when we're never teaching guys, all right, go out, tell this girl you're looking for a girlfriend that she's going to be perfect for this.
Your clients wouldn't be fuckboys.
Well,
they're probably
depends what you mean.
Good guys that have genuine intentions and that's why they're asking for help maybe.
Exactly. And depends what your definition of fuckboys are. Like there's a lot of guys that I coach
saying that they love you and then fucking you and then blocking your number.
Lying, right?
Yeah,
because there's a lot of guys that have a lot of sex and have a lot of casual sex. But it depends what your definition of fuckboy is. When the manipulation comes in, then of course not, right? Like it's kind of pointless, really. There's no need. Like there's a lot of girls that enjoy casual sex and just want you to be honest about it as well. But you're right. There is science behind this. When you do have sex with a partner, there is a release of oxytocin. There is a release of serotonin. You do have dopamine hits. It's chemistry-wise, you do feel more bonded to your partner after sex.
Especially girls.
Yeah, especially girls, right? And of course there is the, not only like the chemistry, but there's the sociology behind it, right? You've been more vulnerable with this person. Like I always tell guys.
Especially if you're self-conscious of your body and you let this person explore parts of your body that maybe you're not comfortable with or you don't, like not everyone is a sex worker like me. And before I was a sex worker, I was very, you know, like I was so, especially like when in my early years when I had gone from being like bigger to being smaller, I was still self-conscious of my body and I was like really flat chested. I was self-conscious of my boobs and whatever. When you then allow someone to like come into your space and you just all on show and then they just like fuck off. It's like, I've just like shared my inner everything with this person.
Exactly. So it can be tough. And this is the reason why I tell guys to make sex a priority and try
if guys were better, girls wouldn't make them wait because it's literally trauma. If you talk to any girl that makes guys wait, I reckon 99.9% of them will say what I said. Like, I've just given it away and then it's never worked out. That is what it is. So if guys just, especially younger guys, if any younger guy, because my trauma comes from high school. Maybe some other girls that maybe came later. And I'm sure, look, it still happens later in life as well, but it happened as early as 14, 15 for me, really. So yeah, you guys need to be better because once upon a time I was just giving it away. And I got nothing from it. So I was like, you know what, fuck all of you. I'm gonna make all you wait.
So I guess this is my summary on what I believe, right? As a woman, you need to feel like you're never giving anything away. That this is a shared experience that if anything you're taking, you're going to enjoy this sex, right? It's going to be about you a little bit. So that's how I'd say from the girl's point of view. And if you're not at that stage, then waiting is probably, okay, go for it. From a guy's point of view, this is what I'd say. I want to make sex a focus in this relationship that you're building. And I wouldn't want to fall back on this idea of I'm going to be a gentleman. If you're going to be a gentleman, then make a girl feel comfortable with the idea of sex. Don't avoid it. So when you can, I always tell guys that the biggest connection you can ever feel with a girl most times is when you're lying in each other's arms after sex and you're just chatting, right? That is the aim here. This is where you really want to get to. So yes, it can be looked at as gentlemanly if you wait, but I'm scared that it's almost like it's slightly a limiting belief, because what I really want instead of that is for men to understand maybe the trauma that women have been through, understand that they just want a clear message and show them that. Be honest about your intentions. Be honest that, look, yeah, I'm willing to see you again. I'm not saying this is going to be a relationship, but I'm willing to see you again. Or it could be, yeah, I am looking for a relationship. Or it's going to be, you don't have to say I'm going to fuck you and never see you again, but you might want to say, yeah, look, I'm just casual at the moment, just got out of a relationship. I'm just looking to have fun, right? That's what I'm here for. So it's clear. So I guess that's my kind of summary on should you fuck on the first night.
I think to summarize is that men should be better.
Men should be better, yeah. All men listening, stop being assholes, all right?
Yeah,
that's
all
basically, be honest.
fault.
Be honest. Yeah, no, you're right. Men should be honest. I agree. You got to be clear with your intentions. And there's no reason to hide them.
Yeah, because you were so right. Like there's a lot of girls that are totally fine with one night stands. Like even me, I'm happy. I have nothing against one night stands. I've got nothing against fuck buddies and casual sex. And every single girl I know, they do have guys that, sometimes they do have one night stands and they have whatever, but you need to be clear, like, okay, yeah, look, I'm not looking for anything right now. I just want a quick fuck. And a lot of the time girls will be like, all right.
They're down, right? And look, I've met a lot of girls that will tell me this, like, look, I'm waiting for, and when I just explain and just chat to them and I'm like, I literally told them this. I'm like, you're going to love the sex. Like, we're going to have a fucking amazing time. And I'm willing to see you again, right? I'm not going to like run away and ditch you. I'm like, this is what I tell girls. Say that. Yeah, I tell girls, look.
I will call you back.
Yeah, I'm like, look, even if I'm an asshole
so nice.
that just wants to fuck,
but like,
right?
Look, it is nice that you say that, but a lot of guys say that.
No, but let me explain this. Even if I'm an asshole that just loves sex, I'm like, if the sex with us is good enough,
is it worth me being an asshole?
I'm going to want to fuck you again. This is going to happen. But no, it's true. Yeah. So clear intentions. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Good chat.
Yeah. All right. So our review, our sex toy. It's time for our sex toy review.
Yes.
What we are reviewing is, trying to hold them up to the camera, is the naked condoms. Oh, bubblegum flavor. Wait, oh my God, I'm totally pointing at the naked condoms. And I gave some of these to you the other week to try. And my first question to you is, so did you use these with a girl and have the girl try them?
Yeah, we tried them last night.
And my next question is, did you try it?
Well, as in I fucked the girl with the condom.
Have you tasted these?
No, I didn't taste the condom. No, but the girl did and gave me some feedback.
I thought that you might say that. So here's something that I prepared earlier. To anybody listening,
you have a carrot.
I have and this is a massive schlong. This is like a 30 centimeter long carrot.
Yeah, that's a long carrot.
I picked the biggest one.
Okay.
And you're going to try this. Before we talk about it, you're trying this.
This is like, okay, so people.
Oh, there we go.
You're good skill there. All right. So
obviously, I put condoms on for a living.
People just listening to this, Kat just pulled out a carrot that's about a foot long and just put the condom on. All right. It looks like a lollipop.
Smells like bubblegum.
What's your feedback here? What does it taste like?
I had already tasted it, but I just wanted to
taste this condom.
Put that in your mouth right now.
I like your attitude. All right. Oh, it smells good. All right. I'm going to pretend this is like a lollipop. There's not too much to it. It's a slight kind of, I thought it was going to be overwhelming. It's not bad.
As somebody who has condoms in her mouth a lot,
I've never tasted a condom before, but I tell you what, it's not bad.
The subtlety of it is, you look really uncomfortable with this.
I struggled with that, but I tried my best, guys. Thanks for that, Kat.
Okay.
Review.
How about we just go with you first? What did you think of it just then? And then I'll give my expert professional opinion.
I mean, it's okay.
No, you don't really have anything to compare it to, do you?
No, I've got
but just
nothing
in general,
to compare it to.
what did you think of the flavor?
I mean, it's not bad. I've also used...
For rubber.
Yeah, it's because, I mean,
you were going to put rubber in your mouth. Is that what you would want it to taste like?
That's not bad. I'm not going to lie. The thing is, I've tried.
It smells great. Like, I still smell it from here.
Because I've got a lot of students that like to wear condoms when they're getting head because they might have worries about STIs or urethral discomfort and things like that afterwards. But the last time I've used a flavoured condom was a long time ago, and I never liked them because they always were super weird. They smell weird. They smell
like medicine, don't they?
Yeah, they were off. And I'm like, all right, I'm never going to fucking use these again.
Yeah.
But this was actually not bad. And the girl I used it with last night has tried flavoured condoms before, and she's like, this is pretty good. Do they come in different sizes?
No, I think these are just the one size. I'm actually not sure. It doesn't say size on here. I don't think I think there are dimensions on it probably somewhere. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm sure there is dimensions in the fine print somewhere. But I agree exactly with what the girl said and with what you said. I've tried flavored condoms in the past, and they're always disgusting. They taste and smell like medicine. It doesn't matter what flavor you get; they're putrid. These are they actually smell like bubblegum.
Yeah.
Actually taste like bubblegum.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're actually really nice.
Yeah. Kat's like, I just devour these just went on board. Just put one on a carrot and just go for it.
Yeah, this is literally I've shared my snacks with you.
Yeah, I'd be curious if they come in like larger sizes, if there's like a thin version. I think that would be... Is this
you telling us that you have a penis that's too large for these condoms?
Yeah, we struggled last night. I'm not going to lie.
Larger condoms.
We struggled last night. But I'm actually thinking about one of my students as well. He asked literally a question about this in our group last week because he was worried about STIs from getting head essentially. So this is definitely what I'm going to recommend him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
This is what I'm going for.
Giving head with condoms, it's disgusting. Yeah. Like condoms taste like shit. The rubber, it's gross. But this actually makes it a bit more pleasant.
He's a big black man though, so we'll need to check if those come in large.
I don't know. So you know what? If anyone from Naked Condoms is listening, please make your bubblegum ones in multiple sizes, please.
Check it out. All right. But thank you for the recommendation, Kat. You found the one. Yeah, How many did you taste test to get to bubblegum?
Oh yeah, I've tried so many flavors, and this is the only one so far. I'm sure there's flavors out there that I haven't tried yet, but
let us know if you guys have a flavor out there you want Kat to try. Let us know,
or if you've tried a flavor that's really nice. Yeah, we want to know what other condoms are really good.
No, but I rate it.
Put them into my rotation.
9 out of 10
condoms.
9 out of 10. Let's go. It's not bad.
Okay, question from the audience.
We have a question from Dean. He's asking about how to introduce toys to your partner. Now, I get this question a lot from guys. There's the insecurity of, I don't want to use a toy because the girl's going to like the toy more than she likes me.
No way. Is that a thing guys think?
Yes.
Is it actually?
A thing. Yeah, 100%.
No
guys
way.
are worried about getting replaced by a toy or not being...
Guys will always be replaced by toys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's already it's just a fact of life.
And then there's also the issue of like, okay, you pull a toy out and the girl's like, what the fuck is that? They're like, I don't want to use it.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that happen too?
That happens.
I guess, maybe if you're a little bit more conservative, a toy could be a little bit maybe overwhelming.
And also, like, who have you used this on is the other concern.
Oh,
like,
you know what? I have had that concern, especially when guys pull out things like butt plugs. I'm like, I don't know whose ass that's meaning.
Right? Is that thing fucking clean? So, there are a few things I want to say here. Number one, let's talk about the insecurity, because I think that is common with guys. And even for myself, honestly, this is something I went through. The insecurity of like, how do I use this toy? Is she going to think I'm weird for it? Is she going to like the toy more than me? I think it's a common thing that guys have. But yeah,
it's cute to hear when guys are like concerned about things like that from a girl's point of view, because you think guys are like,
all
whatever,
macho and shit. Now they're worried about a little vibrator.
I don't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah, then they're like, this little toy's going to take over.
That's true. That's kind of cute.
That's true. But the way I explain this to men is think about it as an extension of yourself or one of your tools. So there's never going to be an artist that thinks he's only good because he has an expensive paintbrush, or, a pool player that he's only good because he's got a good, stick, essentially. It's just an extension of part of yourself, and that's how women will start to see it. And I've got a funny little story about this, actually. So one of our friends, won't mention their names, had a Doxy, similar to a magic wand. It's a big vibrator, essentially. Yeah. And so I recommend, I was like, buy this one. It's amazing. He used it on a girl, and she was like, this thing is the greatest.
Yeah, I think I know the one. It's the one with like the ball.
Exactly.
They're good.
The big one, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, she came a bunch of times. She's like, this is the best thing ever. It's like one of my favorite toys to use.
Especially when you're getting fucked at the same time.
Exactly, right?
It's good.
So then she comes to me. She's like, Markus, take me to the sex store now. We need to buy this toy. This is like a week we're hanging out. So we go there and it's expensive. Like, it's an expensive toy. She buys it. The next time I see her, Kat, she comes back and she's like, Mark, this isn't the right one. I'm like, what are you talking about? It is. She's like, no, it's not the same. Like, it doesn't feel the same as when like your friend uses it on me. And I'm like, yeah, of course it's not going to feel the same. Like, you're at home compared to being in the bed, being fucked. Yeah. There's like dominance. There's this like erotic scene happening. And I think that was a really important message for everyone else to hear,
That's
which
a good
is
story.
Exactly.
Well, I don't use toys like other than when I'm with clients. So yeah, I feel the same thing about them.
And so it's going to feel completely different when you're actually with the guy. So the guys that are using the toys, you need to keep that in mind. Like, the girl's not just going to be able to use a toy by itself and have the same feelings, emotions, and pleasure that she's having with you with these toys. So I really see in their extension of me. Even like, it's crazy. Like, you use these toys, the girls will have an amazing time. They will want to see you again over and over. They'll see you as the one that gave them the pleasure. There's nothing to worry about in terms of that insecurity. Just see it as an extension of yourself.
And even like what we were saying in the other episode with toys, when there's ever times that you can't perform, you've had a few drinks, you've been partying, bring the toys out. Exactly. You can still, and because a lot of guys, because I see this with clients, like, just because you can't get it up doesn't mean you're not horny as fuck. Like, you want to be playing around in the bedroom a bit, regardless of whether you can get it up or not. So if you can bring the toys out, at least you guys can still have a bit of fun without your dick actually working on it.
And when you see it having a little bit of fun, you're probably going to feel a little bit more relaxed and more likely to get hard as well. So there's definitely a benefit there. And then, so how do guys, Kat, dealt with that concern when you've been like, where the fuck is that toy being? Is it clean?
Well, so normally what I'll do is like, I'll just like clean it myself before using it. Yeah. Fuck, so that's something that girls can do. Like, I'll just give it a good clean. Yeah. And like, I even see that with, that's not even just like even with content creators as well, like the same kind of thing happens. Like when I'm making content with someone and like they'll bring a toy or I'll bring a toy, like it's pretty common for just the other person just kind of clean it.
Okay, fair.
First. Yeah. Like it's not, and anyone listening, I don't think that that's offensive. Like to me, so because I bring out toys to other creators or to clients, and sometimes they want to clean it first, and I don't take offense to it. And anyone here, if you're listening and you're a little bit worried, like a guy pulls his toy, just take it to the sink, or get a baby wipe, whatever. I feel like that's what I do.
No,
that's totally fine.
Yeah,
and then you can be sure that it's clean.
And you're going to enjoy it more if you're not worried. Like,
you can put condoms on a lot of them.
Exactly.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like what I teach guys is, number one, like, have the toys out. So if you got a girl over, like I encourage guys to keep the vibrator on their like side of their bed, because I think to me, girls are more open to using toys when they already see them out and they're kind of sitting there and you're not ashamed by it. When you have to like go underneath your bed, pull out a suitcase and like pull this toy out, now it becomes like, what the fuck is this? And I think more women that aren't experienced with using toys are going to be a little bit more indecisive about that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mood killer if you have to like go get up and like get it.
Exactly. Like, where the
let
fuck
me unlock the safe, or like let me go downstairs. Yeah, no, but like there's definitely been times where I've been in the bedroom and a guy will just pull one out of the bedside drawer. And when you're in the mood, when you are sexually aroused, you're very, guys and girls, you say yes to a lot of things that you wouldn't normally say yes to.
That's fair.
Outside of the bedroom, because you're just in that space. You're in the moment. You want to have fun. So I would definitely say maybe waiting until each other's horny before maybe pulling it out and
have it around. And I think, as you said, like when girls are concerned, like make sure you clean your toys and then let them know you've cleaned them. So that's often what I'll say. If a girl ever says, is it clean? It's easy to say yes once you've already made sure that it's clean. I'll be like, yeah, it is. And then if she's worried, you can always put a condom over the top of it to be safe. And, you just throw that condom out afterwards. But 100%. And if you have that confidence and you're like, look, you're going to love it. It's amazing. The toy's clean. It's going to allow the girl once again to surrender and relax that experience. Of course, you can chat about it beforehand. Like before, fucking, you can always ask the girls like, hey, what toys do you use? What do you like? And that will give you a little bit more of an indication. But hopefully that helps, Dean. So be confident, enjoy, and trust me, girls are going to love you for it.
I think so.
I love the sex fact every time.
So today's sex fact is the optimum penetration time. Like, so the optimum time based on science science says that the optimum time a dick should be in a vagina in any given session is between 7 to 13 minutes.
Yep.
I would agree with that 100%. When it gets to like, I would even say, look, I'm probably okay with 20 minutes even. After that, I just get a bit bored.
Yeah.
Like, or I get sore.
Yep.
Especially being a girl. And especially, so this is another thing as well. When you're fucking a lot, like I do, and especially when you're fucking a lot of people that maybe are not your type, and you're having a lot of latex in you, you get really like irritated and dry if it's going for too long, especially when you're having sex like so much. And after a while, it starts to hurt.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of guys don't realize. Like there's this myth out there that women want to fuck like all night.
Day.
I guarantee you, if you penetrate a girl for 4 hours straight, 99% of girls are going to fucking hate you.
Oh,
right?
I hate the clients that when we fuck for the whole hour.
Yeah.
It
there
hurts.
needs to be some variation.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And then you just have to like push through the pain. And I'm just like, this is actually not enjoyable because it actually just hurts.
Yeah. And so there's a few studies that have been done. So this one, I believe, was on married men and women. And they basically did a survey and asked the women about like their ideal sort of penetration time. And also the average time of penetration is a lot lower than a lot of people think as well. I think it's down to like 5 minutes.
That's actually
or something.
lower than I thought. I thought it would have been 15 to 20.
Exactly, yeah. So there are different studies and surveys, and some are up to like that 20-minute mark. And there's going to be outliers of girls. Like I've met a lot of girls that just want that like penetration for a very long time. And even last week we spoke about in Tantra, there's penetration for a longer time, but it's slower, right? And there's breaks in between. And so as a man, I think this is an amazing, actually, educational fact where you need to switch your mindset from girls just want my dick in and out of them constantly at the same rate.
For hours and hours.
It's like the worst thing.
Absolutely not.
Think about
it's like my nightmare.
a roller coaster, right? You want some periods of where it's like very intense, dominance, like a little bit maybe forceful, you're fucking very hard. And then moments of like relaxation and slower, and maybe you're eating her out and taking a break. And so think about it more of a roller coaster and the girl's pleasure and how she's responding to that, as opposed to this like primal idea of just, I'm just going to fuck her all night and she's going to fucking hate it and resent me later. Well. Yeah,
no, 100%. And like, and girls it doesn't matter how horny you are. After a certain point, girls get dry. Like, and I've had sex with guys that I've been really into. They're hot, or even guys that I like boyfriends and whatever. And like, they turn me on, they make me wet. After we've been having sex for a little bit, you get dry.
Exactly.
Especially like, I find that it happens to me quicker, or sometimes it's really hard for me to even get wet. If I'm like really dehydrated, which I don't know, it happens sometimes.
No,
like if I haven't drank enough water that day, it doesn't matter how hot you are, how turned on I am, how much I like you, it's going to be hard for me to get really, really wet or to stay wet if I'm just, I don't know, if I'm dehydrated, or maybe if I was having a bit of sex beforehand.
Yeah.
Girls need to recharge too. I think guys don't realize that. Guys think like, it's guys just, it takes them, they're the only ones that take a while to get up, and then once they come, they have to recharge. Girls have to recharge too. Like if I've had a session and all my juices have just left my body, it takes me a little bit of time for my juices to like get going again. And I've realized this even just from working, because like I go through lube like no tomorrow. I go through so much lube, and a lot of the time, I even had this one guy that like kind of got offended when I was like putting lube on. He's like, can we just do it without the lube? I'm like, bro, you want me to bleed?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, and he's like, am I not like turning you on? And I was like, it's not about that. It's
not at all.
It hurts without it, especially with a condom on. I feel like condoms make so much more friction. Like a bare dick is nice and it's smooth. Condoms are not smooth and nice, especially like the tip is like it's crunchy.
It's crunchy tips.
Well, you wouldn't know what it feels like, but the tip of a condom and just the friction of the plastic going in and out of you, it actually hurts when it's a lot of time.
Yeah, and look, every girl is different as well, and I think we need to normalize lube. Like lube is amazing, and to be a guy that's insecure about it, like it's silly.
It happens silly. A lot where guys will just not want to use the lube, and it's like I'm using this for my own comfort, not because of you. Like I've even used it with boyfriends and guys that I've been into, and 100%. It has nothing to do with them or how into them I am. That's just sometimes you get dry.
Yeah, of course.
It's the same as a guy.
Yeah, especially
Sometimes
if you're
you have
fucking for a
trouble
long
getting it
time.
up. Sometimes girls have trouble getting wet. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and this is a really good point for men. If you are fucking for a long time, swap out condoms, right? You want to swap out condoms if you're fucking for a long time. You want to use more lube if you're fucking for a long time, and have breaks, right? So there's, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. So 7 to 13 minutes.
There you go.
Is that, would you agree that that's probably your optimum time? What would be your optimum time?
Yeah, so it depends on the type of sex we're having. Because typically what it's going to look like for me is a long period of what people would traditionally call foreplay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be me, like, for example,
Stopping
last night when I fucked, for example, it was like 10 minutes of me tying her up and teasing her. Then I was using a toy on her and like a dildo inside of her for, like 10 minutes. So that's like a long period of like penetration there. And so a lot of teasing that gets involved. The penetration itself, you're right, is probably like 10 to 15 minutes. Then a break of like this back to like foreplay, or, I'm spanking her now for a while, and then back to penetration. I don't think I'm going to like be penetrating a girl for 30 minutes just straight, right? There's going to be variance to that because fuck it. Like, as a guy, you're going to get tired too, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of work if you're fucking for 30 minutes too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 10 to 20 minutes is like the sweet spot for sure. Okay. I see you have your phone there. Anyone listening, especially if you're a sex worker and you're listening to this, if you've ever thought, what goes through a guy's head? Okay, so let me just throw in here. I don't want you to name any names or show any photos because I don't, just for the discretion of girls, I don't want to draw any unwanted attention to any girls on there. Got to be respectful for them. But maybe just kind of describe what you're looking at. Do you need to know the web? It's Scarlet Blue. So what I want you to do is, once you're on the homepage, don't just stay on the homepage exactly as is, and then describe what it is that you're looking at. Like, are you looking at writing? Are you looking at a girl's hair color? Maybe you're looking at an outfit or a color of lingerie that they're wearing, their skin color, size. I don't know.
All right. So I'm looking at the homepage here. We have Escort of the Day. All right.
Is that what you look at? Is that something you look at? Is that something that's piqued your interest? This is important.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd go to like, I just saw you pop up. That is hilarious. So it's like scrolling feed. I just saw you pop up. 100%. I'd want to go to like, when you first go on the page is like big photos of women. Like, that's what I'd first check out. But look, me, when I'm like searching for something, I'm going to filter. I'm probably going to go into the filter section and try to figure this out. This is
great. This is actually great. I never thought that guys would even use filters.
Nah, 100%. This is me. So, there's some interesting girls on here. There's one with like tattoos all over her body.
There's all shapes and sizes.
So the Escorts of the Day is like cool to see. If one girl popped up that was exactly my physical type, maybe I click on that. But my decision making is usually intense. Like, if I'm buying
intense research.
I bought a rug for my new place. The amount of research that went into that rug, you'd be surprised. So we're gonna try filter here. So let me type your city. All right, let's go Sydney, female. All right, here we go. Let's go. Oh, there's BDSM and fetish.
Is that, if that's something that you would pick, then we need to know this.
Yeah, see, this is tough because I like...
But BDSM and fetish is, I think that actually, no, it might be if they're willing to have you do it on them.
Exactly. There's probably a lot of dominatrix as opposed to sub-girls.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
But anyway, let's keep it simple for now. We're going to just go with normal. Okay, so Sydney, services, escort name. Okay, here we go. Age. So we're going to go 20 to 25. Height. All right. 20
to 25. Yep, okay.
Yep. Eye color. I mean, we don't really worry too much about
it. Do you roll? No, I want to know. Is this something that you?
No, eye color doesn't worry too much. Okay. Ideally, maybe blue, but look, we'll go blonde hair though. That does.
Blonde hair. Why are you giving me those eyes?
That's because
Mark just gave me these sex eyes while licking his lips.
I like blonde hair.
You dirty boy.
Body type. All right, we're either going to go slim or athletic, but I'm going to go slim. Bust. It doesn't really worry me. Hang on, they have bust size, but there's nothing here about booties. I'd like to make a complaint. Place of service.
Booty size.
All right, we're gonna do an hour call. Extras. Okay, interesting. Verified photos, VIP. All right, that doesn't matter too much. All right, let's search.
You'll probably see my photo pop up because I think
This is actually interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a girl here in some red lingerie, white top, blonde. Oh, okay. All right. So that's what I got when I clicked on her profile. So she's wearing some kinky leather.
Okay, yeah, she's got a whip in her hand.
Yeah, which
red lipstick.
I'd rip out of her hands and use right on her. So 20s, blonde. All right, 177 centimeters. So we're a tall girl. All
do you
right.
like tall girls?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things where I do like tall, slim women, but like short girls, it's still, it's great.
Would you prefer tall?
Yeah, I prefer tall.
I'm sure tall girls. Oh, she's got a nice beauty.
This girl, the search feature on this is working out all right, lads. This is all right.
The search feature works.
Next girl, not really my type. The reason being, I mean, it's hard with the blurred face. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, okay. So you want to see face.
I do want to know what her face looks like.
Yeah.
I think
face is important to you?
It is. Because body is also important to me, right? Like the physical appearance is important. But if I don't even know what your face looks like, that to me, that's like half your physical appearance that I'm like going blind on here. So if I can like make out what you might look like through the blur, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Like some blurs are pretty soft.
Yeah, some blurs are softer than others. My blur, when I used to blur my photos, I was like intense blur. I used to like scrub the shit out of my face.
You would never know.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a blur here, but this girl looks cute. Do they have a bio?
Yep.
All right, let's have a look at about me.
Go and explore. There's bios. People have links. There's selfies.
All right, can I read out the bio, or is that
maybe just read things that's in the bio? Like maybe don't read it word for word, but maybe just say
she's witty, intelligent enough to strike up a conversation between the sheets, if that's what you're into. Interesting.
And I'm curious if anything in the bio is making you maybe want to see this person.
Yeah, exactly. Like what I prefer, honestly, maybe this might help you, is a more just straight to the point bio. Like give me a too long didn't read summary of who you are and then maybe some in-depth stuff. Because I'm thinking about it from the lens of like I use online dating and Tinder. Like I like when I don't have to, like if I can just see your bio, see your photos, get an idea of what you're like, awesome. If I have to read a novel that doesn't really tell me anything about you. Like this is just, I am adventurous and witty and every connection is unique and my naturally infectious smile. Like it doesn't even sound like you wrote this. It sounds like you looked up like bio for escort.com or something. Just like posted a very generic thing. Like I would prefer if it sounded more genuine, to be honest.
What would be genuine to you? I'm interested in this only because I do actually get a lot of clients that say that they picked me for my bio because it's very well written. I'm like I do writing and stuff, so writing is a skill of mine, and a lot of my clients have said that they really liked my blog or they really liked my bio. So I'm curious what it is that you would want to see, because girls are different in their bio. So my bio is quite lengthy and it's kind of novel. Okay. Other girls, not so much. Other girls would be like, oh, like, yeah, I'm a little, I can be a slut for the night or something. Exactly, is that what you would want to see? Like more dirty?
I wouldn't.
Would you want it to be a bit more classy?
Like, I'm going to be a little slut. I'd like to know your sexual nature from your bio as well. Like that's important to me. Like what I'm looking in these photos, honestly.
Give me an example. So if you were going to write one for a girl, what would be in it? Like what do you mean sexual nature? Like they're an escort.
Exactly.
They're sexual.
What are you into? Like what are your kinks?
Okay. So this is, you want to know kinks, because kinks is important for you.
Very, because I'm looking at these photos and one thing I'm looking for are girls that are taking somewhat of submissive photos, because a lot of these are done by photographers and they get into pose, but you can still pick up on little cues, right, from these girls. So someone that's a little bit more submissive is something that I'm looking for here. But let's look at, about me for the next girl.
How can you tell if somebody's submissive by their photos?
It's more, so there's two things. Number one is it's the actual body language, right? So girls that are a little bit more inward, looking up to the camera, biting their lip, looking down, things like this. But to me, it's more photo selection. So what do they think is attractive to a guy? Because they're getting a bunch of photos done, they're picking certain ones. So if they're picking ones where they're kind of a little bit more small, cute, a little bit more vulnerable, that's what they think is attractive to a guy, and that's what they think a guy's looking for. So if you have a lot of girls that are taking up a lot of space. Maybe they're holding like a whip in a very dominant manner. These probably aren't the girls that I'd be looking for, that I'd be looking to connect with. And again, I'm thinking about this from like an online dating perspective. That's probably more accentuated there than it is on here, but you can still notice, right? You can still notice. So, all right, next girl, let's have a look at her bio, and then I'll answer the question about the bio. So this is pretty petite blonde, right? So I like that's what she has.
That's everything that you want.
At the top, right? Perfect, amazing. But this is more conversational. Like, hi, I'm person's name. She talks about herself a little bit. This just feels more natural. Like, I want it to be more conversational. Okay. Like, if I was going to write a bio for a girl, it would be like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm da-da-da. Right. I'm from here. The thing I love most of all in bed is da-da-da-da. This is the type of experience I want to give you. This is the type of guy I'm looking for on here. Hope to see you soon, or like send me a message, blah, blah.
Something cute, casual.
Yeah, genuine. Yeah. When it feels like someone
serious,
just fucking like it's just feel like I'm reading a back of a book or some shit, right? Like, and then it says nothing about them. They're just picking like a bunch of cool adjectives is what it felt like. They were just on thesaurus and, writing some things. Whereas this, at least this is my second bio I'm reading, it just feels more straight to the point and more real. And I think I'd enjoy that a little bit more. All right. I guess this is where I just have to make a choice, right? So if you give me another
How far down did you scroll? Were you only on the first page? This is important.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm about to hit page number 2.
All right. You're actually going to page number 2.
Yeah. So,
interesting. There was no one that you wanted on page number 1.
There was. We've got a top runner. We got number 1 so far.
Okay. Was that the one with the whip?
Yeah, it was. Okay. It was.
Okay, yeah.
She looked kinky, and she was holding the whip in a very like submissive way. It wasn't like, she didn't look like, I'm gonna whip you. It looked like, hey, I've got some kinky clothing. I'm gonna give this whip to you for you to whip me. And it did look a little bit like that. You've made it this far. I can see you've got a taste for finer things in life. That's hilarious. My body's toned and slim. All right, my personality is on the extroverted side. Like, again, like my personality is on the extroverted side. You wouldn't have that conversation with someone. I'd prefer to say I'm very outward, bubbly, very outgoing, right? Just keep it more conversational, I'd say. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe other guys aren't looking for this specifically.
Yeah, well, I mean, my bio is very novel-ish. It is something that you would read on like the back of the book.
And I guess it depends what guys are going for, right?
Well, yeah, it depends on the kind of person that you're attracting. Most of my clients are like rich businessmen and they love reading shit.
Yeah, that's true. They might be looking for someone very sophisticated, right? Like for me, sexually, I'm looking to take control, right? So I'm looking for someone that's very outgoing, very fun, very open-minded, very bubbly, exciting, and I want to take control, get them out of their head, put them in that submissive space. So I guess that's probably what it's showing with the whole idea of me not wanting to like read the novel. I want to see some more, how should I describe that? Like bubbly character within it. All right, Kat, I've got some news for you. You ready?
You picked one.
Yeah, we're going with number 1.
Yeah,
we're going with number 1. She's done it for me.
Yeah, so she's blonde, she's tall, she's blonde, in a kinky latex black outfit, kind of with a little whip.
Kinky did it for me, right? She's got a photo with some red lingerie. Red happens to be my favorite color. Yeah. I can see what her face looks like. She's a beautiful girl. The bio, it's fine. So yeah, I'm going with her. Hopefully does that help at all, Kat?
Yeah, no, it does. That was interesting.
Yeah. There we go. Maybe 1 week we'll get a Tinder out. We'll get you to pick a guy off Tinder.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be so fun.
Yeah, we'll see what your thought process is.
Yeah, because I don't use dating apps as well. So
all right, so when are we getting this girl over, by the way? Are we done with the podcast now?
It's probably too expensive for you.
Oh, fun. Too good.
And that's it for today.
All right, perfect. Thanks for joining us, guys. We, if you want to check out last week's episode, check it out. We had Timo on there, which is a tantric coach and gigolo. It was really interesting to chat about. And next week we got some more exciting things to come. So.
Yeah, we do, definitely. And if you haven't yet, we are on TikTok. I did, check out our TikTok because we are on TikTok. I did change our TikTok name. So the TikTok name is now Cat and Mark Show, I think.
Cat and Mark Show?
Yeah, it's either Cat and Mark Show or Mark and Cat Show. I can't remember. It's one or the other.
That's all right, guys. We'll put our TikTok name in the description below.
Yeah. Cool. See you next week. Happy sex, everyone.
See you.